Y'all, you don't even know how excited I am. We are finally throwing this little sucker away, and we are moving into this journal, which I have been so excited to start. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte. You can call me Charlie, and it has been a while since we have last seen each other in person. I cut my hair. I'm wearing a nice tea-dyed coffee... Can you tell I journal? I am wearing a nice color-dyed, tie-dyed shirt, and we are going to talk about journaling today. Yay! It is 2022, and I am super duper excited to get right into journaling. However, bullet journaling can be very scary. If you have never bullet journaled before, or if you have bullet journaled before and it just has never worked out, well, I'm going to share some tips on why that has never worked out, and I'm going to tell you how you can start bullet journaling this 2022 and why this is the year for you to start. As I get busier with the year and work picks up, I rely more on bullet journaling as a creative outlet than other forms of art because other forms of art take longer. And while bullet journaling, depending on how much time you have on your hands, you can make extravagant spreads, there is also some minimalism and minimalistic spreads that you can accomplish. I'm going to share 4 tips on how you can start bullet journaling this year. So this is my bullet journal, and it has taken me quite a long time to get to this journal. Believe me when I say I've been bullet journaling since 2018. That was quite a few years ago. And overall, I have learned a lot of valuable lessons about myself as a bullet journaler and what my needs are for everyday life. So one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, I think it's the biggest thing with bullet journaling, is perfection. Everyone makes mistakes, and the camera cannot pick up half of your mistakes, okay? So people whose spreads look really amazing, maybe they have 1 or 2 mistakes and you just don't see it because of the camera quality, okay? So I just also want to point that out there. Your bullet journal is perfectly imperfect, and that is what I like to say when I make custom-made bullet journals because it's true. A lot of people look at bullet journaling inspiration online and they get overwhelmed because, man, people make such beautiful spreads and you just want those spreads for yourself, and that just takes time. It is really hard to figure out what your bullet journal should look like. For a couple of years, my bullet journal looked like crap. I know, I don't even know if I can say that on camera, but it's true. My bullet journal looked like crap. It taught me something about myself. What is a bullet journal to you? For me, a bullet journal is my method of organization. It is meant to be an agenda. And as I have bullet journaled more and more, I've learned to accept spreads that I don't like. If everything was perfect, then nothing would be perfect at all. You get what I'm saying? So because of that, I realized that, some weeks, some months for me are just too busy. So I won't be making something really amazing and something totally worth posting. What about that small part of you that's like, yeah, but it still needs to be pretty? Well, here's what I do. This is something that I've been struggling with, and you'll notice that I said this a lot in my last couple of bullet journaling videos, but minimalism and simplicity, okay? Minimalism and simplicity are 2 huge things that I want to accomplish this year because I, like a lot of people, don't have a lot of time to set up my bullet journal, but I want to. Choosing a select few supplies has really helped me in making my spreads quicker and easier. The second thing that I have done recently is, if you like to film your bullet journals, batch bullet journaling is the best, and not even necessarily for filming, just in general. So this is my bullet journal for this year. Over the holidays, I decided that I would film and complete my spreads for 2022, and you can see a video on when I completed this yearly spread. I filmed my video for January, and I also completed my February, my March, and my April spread. And that way, when I post my video, all I need to do with the month of is say my voiceover. It just cuts down a lot of time. April actually brings me to the end of the majority of my work period, which is really helpful for me because it means after April, I have another break where I can then complete the rest of my bullet journal. So that is a very good way to get ahead. These are just ways that I myself have learned to combat this time management issue with bullet journaling. Another thing why people don't do bullet journaling is the idea of tracking, okay? It's pressure. The bullet journaling community is a huge community, and so many people have ideas on how they want to organize their lives. And even now, one of the journals that I make and I love the most is my reading journal. And this is my reading journal. I know it's not a bullet journal, but in this reading journal, I write reviews for books. But when you look at some of, because I definitely follow all those reading journal trends because I just love them. But a lot of those reading journals that I see posted online have trackers of how many books you read, bingo cards, dates and things, and it's just really complicated for me. And just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean that it works for you. You need to adjust yourself based on what you think you want your journal to be and how you want your journal to help you. The same goes for bullet journaling. I have said this multiple times, you've seen it in all my videos, but I do not track in my bullet journal. I do not track and I do not goal set. If I do decide to ever track something, I will just kind of write it in my journal and that's that. But I don't give myself a specific page to track. And some people may adore those planner pages, but for me, it's just a bunch of waste because it makes me feel bad when I don't fill those tracker pages out. It makes me feel bad that I've wasted paper and it doesn't make me want to use them again. And that's that, okay? You don't need to do that. If you are not a tracker, don't track. And it will take you some time to learn that. In my earlier bullet journals, I tried all the time to track. I had so many trackers and I was like, I'm so pumped to use this, and I never did, and I couldn't figure out why I never did. But then I was like, you know what? I just don't use these. It's wasting paper. I feel bad. Poor environment. So I stopped and it changed my life. The next thing that I want to point out around this type of thing of making your bullet journal suit your needs is size, okay? Size matters. And for the longest time, I used a small bullet journal, aka not this size. You can see the size difference from my bullet journal in earlier years to my bullet journal now. And that has changed and progressed depending on my needs. When I first tried bullet journaling, you can see that I used paper. I used a notepad that was like this block notepad, and I didn't realize at the time because I was kind of just getting into my stationery love. I mean, I had already loved stationery, but like professional art stationery, if you get what I mean. That block notepads come apart. They are meant to be ripped up, okay? Ripped up. And that frustrated me so much because I was sitting here trying to fill out my bullet journal and nothing was working and I couldn't figure out why. And, you know, it's because all my papers kept falling out, and who wants a bullet journal where pages fall out? What's the point of planning if you lose your papers, you know? Bullet journaling is about perseverance, much like everything else. It's about perseverance and trying out new things and learning what you like and dislike. That simple. Anyways, through my journaling process, I realized maybe I should try something even smaller. So I actually stumbled upon this small-sized Sam's notebook by accident, but this notebook is where I truly fell in love with bullet journaling. And I had no trackers in it, except for one page, which was kind of like, but I loved it. I had really simple spreads. Most of the spreads looked exactly the same, but they worked for me. And you'll notice that my spreads from back then are kind of similar to my spreads now, but a little prettier than in the past. And I love this bullet journal. It worked for me. I have small writing. I don't need something huge. But then we go to the Traveler's Notebook, and now we have reached our conclusion at this chunky dunky notebook, which isn't actually chunky. It's fairly minimal and compact, and I love it. But the nice thing about this is I'm going to be at home since my area that I'm living in right now is currently back in lockdown. So it's easy to pull this out and start using this again because it will just sit on my desk as like a studio planner. And so it's big, but it works. And I love it. to pieces because I get to try and experiment with new things that I probably didn't have space for in my earlier bullet journals. Bullet journaling has definitely been a long journey for me. It's all about getting to know yourself while you're bullet journaling, and that is why essentially I love the paper journals, because you have that track record of things you like. And I always love having this to go back to it, to be like, oh, this is where I kept this one date or whatever. But yeah, the point of this was just to say that bullet journaling is really versatile. It depends on what you want. You can either use it just to, like as I pointed out here, here's a sketch of something I did in my bullet journal. You don't have to do this, but I did it and I loved it. So the thing about bullet journaling is there's no strict rules. Online, it looks like there's a bunch of strict rules, but there isn't. Do what you love and persevere. At the end of the day, you probably gave up bullet journaling because you tried a notebook you didn't like. You tried a utensil that you didn't like. Mix it up. Try new things. Don't give up. And eventually you'll get to somewhere you like. And, you know, bullet journaling changed my life completely, which is why I love bullet journaling. So I recommend it to everyone. And I hope this video helped you gain some motivation or something or other for 2022, because really this is the year to start bullet journaling. As life gets back on track, as people go back to work, you want to keep an eye out for everything that's going on in your life. You don't want to miss anything. So get your life organized. Unless your life is totally organized already, then, you know, you do you. Or if you like being a mess, you do you. It totally works out. Anywho, this is me, this is my bullet journal, and I love it, and it has helped me immensely. Before we go, I wanted to point out one more really important thing about bullet journaling, and it's called recreations, okay? Recreating bullet journal spreads has helped me immensely with my creativity and learning what I like to do in bullet journals, because, wow, recreating bullet journals is just, some spreads are so gorgeous, and recreating those spreads has taught me different methods of journaling and doodling, because some people are such great artists, and it's cool to kind of pick up how they draw art. And I mean, give credit where credit is due, so long as you know that that's not your own work, and that if you post it somewhere, you should be tagging, crediting the original designer. Then you should definitely recreate other people's posts. I know Amanda Rach Lee, she's a bullet journal here on YouTube that I think like everyone knows. She always at the ends of her videos posts a little montage of people who recreated her bullet journal spreads, and it is so beautiful. You get to learn all these new bullet journalers on Instagram, but you also get to see how one design can be translated into multiple different designs and how things can be slightly altered. And it's lovely to see that, you know, you can learn from other people's bullet journals as well. So if inspiration gets a little too pressuring, just know you can always take a step back, copy what other people do, learn from it, improve your own style, and there you go. Just don't forget to credit, because crediting is extra important. But yeah, I can't recommend any other planning program or method than the bullet journaling system, because it has literally changed my life. And I know I've said that a lot, but it's true. It has changed my life. So everyone needs to go get a bullet journal right now, and it doesn't need to be an expensive one. It's just a notepad at the end of the day. Do what suits you. And dude, this bullet journal was from the dollar store. Do what does you. That doesn't even make sense. Just go get yourself a notebook and try it out once or twice. Thank you so much for watching this bullet journaling video. If you could, it would be really amazing if you gave this video a big thumbs up so I can continue to post videos in the future. And until then, bye-bye.